Moving on, sanctuary cities. CJ, you came all up in arms into the studio tonight about the sanctuary cities thing. So I'm gonna let you just
I was
have the
all
floor.
up in them arms about the sanctuary cities.
Yeah, and by the way, you really need to put on some more deodorant.
Yeah, I should probably buy that. I haven't had deodorant
Maybe
for like
shave those pits or
2
something.
years.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm probably due for a good shave.
Ugh.
Yeah. What? You don't shave? You're like a hairless chihuahua anyway, man. What's up with you? You got like those 5 hairs around your left nipple. Anyway.
What? And how would you know? Ooh.
Your pool parties where you get your farmer
Wow,
tan
man.
and the only dark stuff on you. Anywho, sanctuary cities is definitely a major issue, especially since the administration has been pushing with their, bans of traveling and all that other fun stuff. But recently, the city of Chicago, I'm sure most people have heard, has decided to sue the DOJ. And by proxy, they're calling it the Trump administration. Most of the articles I looked at, the headline always says they're suing the Trump administration or Trump's government or whatever it is. But it's the DOJ is who they're actually filing a lawsuit against, because the DOJ basically wants to be able to come in and deport whoever the heck they want. And there are several cities, I don't know the exact number, but there are several major cities that have declared themselves to be sanctuary cities. Chicago is obviously one of the ones at the forefront. L.A., San Francisco, several in like Seattle. I believe there's I don't even know how many, but there's a lot. But the reason it's interesting to me is because working and living in Pasadena, they decided not to be a sanctuary city. And I'm just curious about how people feel about that, because my feelings on it, I think I don't see the need for a sanctuary city.
Really?
I don't see the need.
Interesting. All right. Why do you say that?
What would be the goal of the sanctuary city? Is it simply to protect people who have come into the country illegally? And are they being getting some kind of special protection that other citizens would not otherwise get?
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Are you suggesting that there's some more nefarious reason for the existence of a sanctuary city?
No, I think the sanctuary city is just a platitude. It's a false flag, because there is absolutely no way if ICE went into Los Angeles with every possible law enforcement agency that they could bring into it, the Homeland Security, federal marshals, if they brought all of them in there into LA City, what is the city of Los Angeles going to do to keep them from taking people who are there illegally and removing them?
So you're saying it's a waste of time?
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
It's just lip service. That's what you're saying.
And worse than that, and this is where it becomes nefarious, it's a false sense of security. Because if people decide they want to go to these sanctuary cities because they believe they're going to be safe, you are now creating a concentration where now they don't even have to go very far, because they know the concentration of these people who are illegal is going to be in these specific areas.
Okay, but I don't believe that any of these sanctuary cities have gone out and gone as far as to say, we will totally protect you. I think what they have said in every instance is, we will not seek you out.
And to be fair to Pasadena, that is what they said. And it's not even that they will not seek you out. It's just they're not going to make it their job to enforce it. But here's the thing, though. That was never those cities' job.
I think that Pasadena has gone on record as saying we're not going to be a sanctuary city. That's double talk.
No, it's not double talk.
They're saying we're not going to declare ourselves a sanctuary city. We're also not going to go out and look for people that have come here illegally. And the reason they don't want to declare it is because they don't want to jeopardize the money that comes in from the government. Because Trump has already said he'll cut them off.
That is absolutely one of the reasons. That is absolutely one of the reasons. But the other reason is it does give a false sense of security, and there is really absolutely nothing that the city can do to protect people.
I agree that there's nothing that they can do. I don't believe that it's giving them a false sense of security. Because
if you're LA,
if
you're LA and ICE comes, if they say they come to downtown LA, they don't even have to go far beyond City Hall. They can actually go out right in front of the LAPD's headquarters. You go within a 5-block radius of there, I guarantee you, if they did a roundup, they'd find several people that were in the city illegally.
Oh, I'm sure.
You go up and down that downtown corridor. Do you think LAPD is going to lift a finger when they get in there?
Well, I don't think LAPD is going to do anything. Their job is to enforce laws, not to defend people. They're not.
Then why declare yourself a sanctuary city?
Because this, in LA's case, they have. It's Garcetti has said that they will provide legal defense in any way that they can.
In any way that they can, and that phrase alone is the cop-out. How can they? That is the question people need to ask. Okay, you're a sanctuary city. Now what? Nobody ever asks the now what part of the question.
What
they just want to be happy.
Do versus the federal government.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a difficult position that for me to even argue, because you could actually draw a parallel. It'd be a bit of an exaggeration, but you could draw a parallel between the segregated South when they had to bring in federal troops to protect people who were marching for civil rights, because the local government's thinking, we have our rules and our policies. Why are the feds coming in here? But in that situation, it was citizens versus citizens. In this situation, and in that same situation, if a person commits a crime, they get locked up. And by not just federal law, but local law, if you get locked up and you're not a citizen, we have no reason to keep you. We can put you on a bus, and they do put you on a bus and send you back wherever.
Yeah.
With no money, no nothing. You get on the bus, you go to the border, it's your problem from that point on. They do that every single day. So why are you saying you're a sanctuary city? Who are you saying you're protecting, and how are you saying you're protecting them?
I don't think that they've gone out so far as to say we're actually going to protect you. They've basically said we're not going to fall in line with the government, the federal government's mandate that we go out looking for people.
But they didn't. But they never had to say that.
You still have to try and figure out how to fly beneath the radar. But we're not gonna go out overtly looking for people.
I'm going to tell you why I think that number one is not true. Okay. Because in any of these cities, the migrant populations are your bottom source of labor. You can go to them. You can treat them however you want to. Pretty much. You don't have to pay them very much, and they can't complain about it.
Okay, what's the point
here? So if you really want to be a sanctuary city, why not actually do something to help these people? Because that's what sanctuary. It's
but you also have to look
all the way back to the biblical precedent.
You're aiding and abetting.
Well,
now you have a different problem.
You're not aiding and abetting. How are you aiding and abetting if you're preventing somebody else from breaking the law by forcing somebody to work illegally? If you're forcing somebody to work 24 hours, or there is a very short leap between the human trafficking, and illegal immigration, because human trafficking uses illegal immigration as a way to keep people in bondage. So that's where you get your slave trade, your sex slaves, and free labor. That's why sweatshops exist, because they tell them if you say something, you're out, and people are scared to say something because they know that they're not afraid of the cops, they're afraid of their employers, who are the ones giving them their money, providing them with their home, and if they say something, they're out.
Okay, but now I'm getting confused. Who exactly are you going after? The governments?
I'm not going after anybody.
Or the sweatshops, because the local city government is not providing sanctuary for the sweatshops.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. When you can go to any restaurant, you can go to any factory, anywhere, and if we just did LA, since they have declared themselves to be a sanctuary city, you don't have to go very far to find somebody who is living there in poor conditions and being told that you won't leave because I won't let you.
I don't disagree with you that happens every day and is happening right now as we speak. What I do disagree with you on is that the city is providing a haven for it, not intentionally anyway. Sadly,
I don't think
that's the whole point of the sanctuary city, is that these people can go and complain without fear of immediately being taken
but they can't
and put on that bus.
Joe, they can't go and complain.
Why can't they?
They can't go and complain because if they complain, it's on a record somewhere, which is the reason why they don't go and complain. And once it goes on record, then they have basically put themselves on the radar. Because if the feds come in and say, we want to see every complaint you've had from everybody who's not a citizen and tell us the information you have on them, they have the right to do that. In fact, they don't even have to ask. They basically have access to the information. If the police file a report, FBI just goes right in and looks at it.
Which is why in the sanctuary cities, they're not supposed to be taking all of these reports.
Which means that the person can't complain. If you're not filing a report, then you're not making a complaint.
They can complain anonymously.
Jeshima says that sanctuary cities decline to hold arrestees in jail due to their immigration status.
Why? Why would you decline to hold them?
Previously, crime-based grounds for removal require a conviction.
Todd, you don't by any chance also double as the voice in my GPS, do you?
In 200 yards, turn left.
See what I mean?
That's crazy.
He's practicing for when the Roomba starts talking. He wants to be the voice of the Roomba.
I don't know. The only reason I even say all of these things is because I understand why the city of Pasadena took the position they did. Because you put yourself in a position where, yes, you do cut yourself off from funding, and you really don't have any authority.
I'm going to go on record as saying I believe that the only reason Pasadena doesn't want to become a sanctuary city is because they don't want to lose their precious funding. You've got to go back and
you've got to watch the discussions. I just don't like the idea of giving people a false sense of security. because there really is absolutely nothing any municipality can do, because they never had to report people. They've never had to do that. To say that you won't do it just means you're going to do the same thing you've always been doing. All they're doing is putting a name on it to make other people feel good.
Yes, but the Trump administration is working toward the idea that they will start requiring everybody to do those things. And the sanctuary cities are saying, we're not going to comply.
But if Trump does that, you don't have to declare yourself a sanctuary city. All you have to do is cite the Constitution, because the federal government can't come in and tell you how to run your city.
The Department of Homeland
Security
Security
reason the federal
has
government
said that complying with these requests is voluntary, because keeping someone in jail without a warrant violates their Fourth Amendment rights.
Thank you,
In
GPS.
other words, they're actually aware of the fact that constitutionally they can't do that. The only way, and this is part of the reason why I am leaning away from the more socialist and the more democratic, the party line Democrats, because there are lots of Democrats I do agree with. But when you start talking about we need government to step in and help you, the moment you, and this happened with Bush, with the Patriot Act, they gave Bush a whole lot of powers. He exercised them. Democrats cried. Obama came into office. He now inherits those powers from Bush. All of the Republicans started crying. And he also expanded those powers, which was great when they thought Hillary was going to win. But now Trump is a president, and look at the amount of power people have given him. Until you start to remove those powers from that one central point, you're going to have this problem. If I am not allowed to run my own household because the federal government thinks I should have a low-flow toilet,
well,
they think I need to have a specific kind of light bulb. Why do they need to do that? I think the market can handle these things. I don't need them stepping into my life.
We got to take a break, but you know, it's interesting that Chevelle takes this point, or takes this position on this point, because it seems to me that it was last week's show or the week before he was complaining about President Reagan and how he didn't think that Reagan was a really great president.
He wasn't.
But Reagan's whole point was that the federal government needed to be less involved in just about everything.
And then he did the opposite.
How do you figure?
Oh, that's a story for another show. We'll have to get into that
boy.
one. I'm willing to dig into that one.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. See, I personally believe that CJ Divine's whole purpose is devil's advocate.
I'm just saying.
We're just gonna, we're gonna start calling
Somebody's
him
gotta do
Judas.
Nah, not Judas,
CJ,
bro. You can call me the DA.
No, maybe, yeah,
I'm the devil's advocate.
No, yeah, the DA, the devil's advocate. There you go, the DA. The DA, CJD.
I'll be that.